this is amazing. Your knowledge base doesn't just have like knowledge. It actually has basically like your meetings, what you discuss there. So it's kind of like alive. It's like, as you do your work over time, every meeting you have is being added there. And you can go back and like if you're thinking, okay, we had this idea like a year ago. Like it's actually like more than knowledge. It's more like, kind of like an extension of your memory, an extension of your brain. It's amazing.
Hi, my name is Dimitri Benici, and I'm a content creator, agency owner, and AI enthusiast. You're listening to the AI Agents podcast, brought to you by Jotform, and featuring our very own CEO and founder, Ida Tank. This is the show where artificial intelligence meets innovation, productivity, and the tools shaping the future of work. Enjoy the show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with another episode of the AI Agents podcast, and Ida and I are thrilled to bring you another week filled with knowledge. Just like we're going to talk about how you can manage your AI knowledge agents in 2025.
Yeah, we are going to talk about knowledge. So one of the great things about AI LLMs is like whatever knowledge you give it to, it
Mm-hmm.
actually learns it, and you can reuse that knowledge. So basically, ChatGPT is like the whole internet. You have the whole internet in your hands, and you can just search anything you want, and that's why it's so valuable. But what if you want to just be able to like talk to a specific knowledge base? Maybe you want to give a book, give an AI agent a book, and be able to like search something in it, be able to like learn something from it, like just have a conversation with it. How would you do that, right? The AI knowledge agents are about that. There are like I think there are like three main use cases. The first one is like search, basically like company search. Like if you have all these like knowledge base in your company, right? You want to be able to search in it to be able to find the data because maybe you have, but you want to keep it private. You want to keep it within the company. I think the second use case is learning. Like if when you're trying to learn something by yourself, and I use um, Google's NotebookLM a lot, and it's basically like you can give it a document, and it can actually turn that into a podcast. You can actually like ask questions as well, but you can also turn that into a podcast, and then like listening to podcasts is sometimes easier. Like just reading a dry document is harder, but just turning that into a podcast, like 15-minute podcast, and listen to it while you're driving, it's just much easier, and you still learn the same knowledge in a fun way. And I think the
Mm-hmm.
third use case is like training. You have this new customer service agent, you have this new sales employee, and you want to be able to like train them. You want them to be able to like quickly look up something when they're on the call, like just find something quickly. So those are the main things. But yeah, what do you think?
No, good. That's a good. I mean, I agree. The main things that people use them for are those categories. The hard part when dealing with normal AI that doesn't have knowledge bases, in my opinion, and the biggest help for me is there is no clear and obvious way without a knowledge base outside of massive prompt engineering from getting what you want out of like a normal day-to-day response. You can't
Yeah.
ask for something and it be how you want it, A, or B, what you want without adding knowledge to the knowledge base of an AI agent.
And if you think about it, an AI agent, I guess the fourth use case is for an AI agent to be able to kind of answer like customers or make decisions on its own. It also needs knowledge for that reason. But if you think about it, like now, like AI agents have like some like different capabilities, and like one of them is like being able to access memory, being able to access knowledge base, and
Yep.
another one is like tool use. So that's actually what separates, just AI from AI agent is having those specific knowledge that makes that AI agent very valuable as opposed to this, general generative AI agent, AI LLM. And the second one is like the tool use and being able to use the tools that is not possible. So um, what makes AI agents so powerful is because they can actually do things on their own. They can make decisions. They can do things on their own. And how do you make those decisions? Like you need knowledge, right? You need to be able to access the knowledge to be able to make decisions. And so it's the knowledge based knowledge management is like the very best foundation of an AI agent. And in many cases, that foundation is enough, right? You just need a
Yep.
knowledge base, and you want to be able to search something. You want to be able to learn something, right? And I'm going to give some demos. Like I picked
Yep.
like three different knowledge based AI agents, and
Hmm.
basically what I did was like I just gave it a book, one of our books, Jotform for Beginners book, and just ask a random question, and to see how they perform. Yeah, we'll get to that, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. I mean, yeah, this is the book I shared, Jotform for Beginners. It's not a big book, but it has like 7 chapters about online forms, like customizing emails, like distributing your forms, and like the very basics of Jotform. Um, so I I gave it to like three different AI agents. The first one is our own Jotform AI agents. As you know, we just released our Jotform AI agents, and basically, it's just in the beginning, like we are more focused on customer service, but you can also use it specifically for private now as a knowledge base because Jotform AI also has like a private mode where you can actually just disable your AI agents to only talk to you while you are logged in. So if you want to use it within your company as a knowledge agent, that's also fine. So as you know, we have the agent builder. In the agent builder, there's a train tab, and there we have the knowledge base section. So I gave the book in the knowledge base section, and now I'm gonna do a demo. Here's my AI agent, Lila, the knowledge bot, and I can refresh this. Just get a fresh start. Hello, I am Lila, your friendly AI agent. How can I help you today? So I copy the text, just making sure I'm copying the right one. Okay. Can I embed my forms into a WordPress website? So this is actually like in a page that it talks about this in the book, and it says yes, you can embed your Jotform forms into a WordPress website using provided embed code. Simply copy and paste the code into your website. So how? Maybe I want to get more details. Just provide more information, and basically it's telling me to log into the WordPress dashboard and go to add page, and then copy as a HTML file. So yeah, this is good. It works fine. It was a
Hmm.
simple question, but we are just doing a demo.
Hmm.
So yeah, the next demo I have is TextCortex, and we actually featured them in our podcast, and
Yes, you did.
this is actually their business. So they are really really good at this. Like that's what they have been doing for the last 2-3 years, and they really have an amazing product. Like if you need a knowledge based product that's really has all the features you need, it's actually a great product. And it says, imagine an all-knowing colleague. TextCortex fits right into your workflows, transforming scattered data into actionable insights for smarter decisions. Um, yeah, so you know, build AI agents for every situation, and
Hmm.
it says marketing agent. So basically, like you can reuse. I know that you're also going to be do a demo, and we didn't actually know about each other, but you're also going to feature TextCortex in
That's
your
Cortex.
demo.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look. I uploaded the file here, the book, and now I'm gonna do the same search here. So it's actually doing all this stuff. It's actually showing me what it did, but it quickly completed that and just giving me this information. Yes, you can embed your forms into WordPress website. Jotform provides embed code. Everything good. It's great. And one of the great things it has is like it actually references to the document. And
Mm-hmm.
here we are. We can actually see the document. Like it highlights it. WordPress plugin code. WordPress powers incredible 43%. So it's actually showing me like where it found that information. So this is really useful because if you want to really read that book yourself and you know find that reference and read the book yourself, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So this is great. And the third one is Google LM. So Google Notebook LM. So the Notebook LM is built with Gemini 2.0, and Gemini 2.0 is amazing.
Oh yeah.
And basically, it's just it has the same functionality. So I uploaded a file here, as you can see. It provided some summary here. Oh, and I actually forgot on TextCortex. I forgot to ask how. Maybe get some more details, right? Okay. Yeah, it's actually providing me more details, like different types of options we have about embedding code, and it's also providing more and more references.
Mm-hmm.
So it's looking pretty good. Yeah. Um, so let's go back to Notebook LM. So I'm going to ask the same question here. Um, so yes, forms can be embedded on WordPress website, and it also has this one. And you can also click on that reference, and it's actually showing the text from the book. To embed a form, access the embed tab, and this one is showing me. The only thing is TextCortex could also like it was showing the preview of the PDF file, so I could actually
Yeah.
see screenshots. But this one is kind of missing the screenshots. Even though the answer is really good, it's not showing me the page on the PDF file, the book. And I
Yeah.
was going to ask how. So the next question is how, maybe to get more details. So, and now it's providing me more details to embed a form into your website. It's, giving the same answer, but it provides like different options. Yeah. It, I expected it to kind of give me like this step by step approach.
Mm-hmm.
This one actually, like ours, is like smaller, but actually gave more like a step by step option. And TextCortex was also giving all these different options as opposed to, and NotebookLM also didn't give me like more step by step options. Yeah, I mean, I've been researching all these different knowledge based products. Like, there's also products. Unfortunately, like most of them didn't actually have like that free version that I could use. Like that's why I had to limit to TextCortex and Notebook LM. But I feel like this is something that AI is really good at. So there should be more options. Like there's a need for more options to be able to do this stuff. I guess like as more and more companies use AI, we'll see more options. But it's doing the basic job. Um, yeah,
Do you think it's fair to call out what the specific, I guess, types of knowledge that you can add are? Because obviously there's different
yeah,
categories of, I guess, I don't want to say data, just different categories of like files and or not files you can add. Like you can add to a lot of these, and it varies, of course. And I think TextCortex does probably one of the better jobs with integrations on this. And I can walk you through that when I do my use case. You can add files themselves. You can add websites. And you can add individual links instead of just overall websites. Like in a lot of these products, you can actually add the entire like schema map, and then it'll grab all of the links. So PDFs, which is text. Plain text is another one where you can literally just type it in and it adds there. The websites, there is also integrations to other products, which essentially are just like text that they like remap using an API to have it look nice. But there's a lot of different options too. It's not just like we were saying, one thing. It's not just like, hey, here's text. You can easily add it, because I could imagine a lot of people getting hung up on the concept of it just being PDFs. It's like, okay, well, I have this whole website. Do I want it to work through grabbing stuff from my website? And the answer is yes, absolutely. So I wanted to call that out real quick.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you can upload files, you can give URLs, but these options are great, especially like Google Drive, OneDrive, Notion, and Dropbox. This actually means that like you share that Google Drive folder, and as you update it, it's going to get updated. Your knowledge base is going to be updated, so you don't have to like constantly manage your knowledge base. It's going to manage itself, and I think that's a great point and very useful.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different mediums that you can add them through. Like you can add them through, as we talked about just now, like manually. But there's other ways to add them too, which I think are more passive that probably good to show. If you want, at this point, do you have anything else that you wanted to cover on the products you were showcasing? Okay,
no, that's all.
Cool. So I can walk you through some of the more, I guess, passive types of ways you can do it, and that includes automation, right? So I'm going to share my screen. And for this right here, so we got TextCortex, okay? Something I really enjoy about TextCortex is the fact that it has a nice capability to grab varied, different knowledge bases, as you can see here when I'm interacting with it. A lot of these AI agents will have you work within a GPT or a persona, and while you're working within it, you can only use pretty much all of the knowledge you've given it. However, with TextCortex, as you can see on this homepage in the chat, there's a couple different knowledge bases that I have set up. All of them have different info in them. If you go to the left-hand side, you'll see that there's a bunch of different ones like marketing best practices. There is other ones like RP meetings, RP processes and info, client of ours, and then other ones. So what I think is interesting is it's really easy to add stuff while interacting with the bot, first and foremost. So for example, if I search, what are the best ways to get podcast ideas? And then I like the fact that I can pick whatever model I think is good for what it is. I think 3.7 Sonnet's great right now. Gemini's quick and easy. This is more better for creative writing, so I can just use Flash 2.0. And what you'll notice is when I do the search, there's a bunch of stuff at the top here. And if I like any of it specifically, what I can actually do is I can click on the dots right here. So let me just QA that this is good, right? I can take a look at the article, see how I enjoy it. Find where you're passionate, find your top 3 podcast ideas and come up with content. Write a pros and cons list. Okay. So this is that's clearly more about how to come up with an idea to make a podcast. How to come up with podcast content ideas for an established podcast. And then it'll search again on the internet. So it's finding stuff. Okay. So this one's content ideas. Okay, cool. This one looks interesting right here. Pick a theme that works for you. Brainstorm ideas. Nothing is more motivating than a deadline. Okay, so this looks interesting. So there's a decent breakdown of how to come up with content ideas for podcasts. So what I'm going to do now, if I like this, is I could add this to not all of my knowledge bases, right? I don't want to do that. I can add this to the knowledge base specifically that I want. So it's going to add to my knowledge, of course, in general, which is a general repository of knowledge. But the specific one I would add it to is probably marketing best practices, because it's about marketing and bringing up content ideas.
I love it. It's like bookmarking. Like
it's very high level bookmarking. Yeah,
bookmarking. You are basically adding to the knowledge, and I believe TextCortex also has like the browser plugin, so you can probably
absolutely
do it much more easily. Like just like you would bookmark a web page. Maybe you could just edit a knowledge.
Yeah, I'm going to show that real quick if you can, if you want to take a look at that, because I think it's a good option too. So say, for example, I like another one. I could even myself, if I wanted to, I could Google what are the best ways to title a podcast. If I wanted to do it this way, I could. And this is my TextCortex account logged in right here. So how to name your, no, that's Buzzsprout telling me how to name it. Episode titles. There we go. Okay, so if I like this, I can go here and I can, as you can see, there is a sidebar rather than that. So it would be Command Shift O. So let's do Command Shift O. And then, as you can see, the chat is actually on the sidebar, which is very nice. You can pick your model here, which is all the same ones that we had over there. We could change your persona. And if I click knowledge,
you can share this knowledge base with your, with your colleagues, right?
Exactly. Yep. You can share your the knowledge base at a team level too. So this is, I think,
actually becomes this shared bookmarking tool as well. Just you can share, all the stuff you find. Very cool.
So I can say summarize this page with its core ideas. Oh, this one's straight over my head. Okay, sometimes. I love AI. Nothing's ever perfect. Summarize this page with its core ideas. Let's pick another one.
You really love Cloud, right?
I do. It's one of my favorite ones. I think it works a little bit better. So let me just paste the link. So share it. Ooh, what is that? I paste that out here. Look what happened when I paste it. So if I add it to marketing best practices, oh, that's telling me to add that. So if I go to here, summarize this page, and you see there's web search. You can add the internet here. I think there's, oh God, of course they're having stability issues, right, when I'm using it. But usually what happens is you can interact with this on the sidebar and then have it summarize it. I believe their Chrome extension must be bugging out right now. But usually what you can do is that you can also add items like this very quickly to your knowledge base by using the Chrome extension. You also can literally just copy the link and go to your knowledge base that you want, and then add new and paste out the link, something like that, right? It's pretty easy to do this. I'd say it's one of the more seamless processes for adding knowledge into this. So overall, that's some of the ways you can do it with like websites. As I mentioned, there's also files, which obviously you can upload. But one of my favorite options here is, as you can see, they have links to different accounts, right? So for example, this OneDrive or Notion or Google Drive, what happens is if I click on the one right here, it'll allow me to select databases and pages that then I could add to it. Now, this is pretty cool to me. For example, this is like a sales pitch and rebuttal framework that I've made for selling. And I could add this to the knowledge base, especially for the marketing best practices and something like that, so that, for example, it is connected to my knowledge base and I can ask questions about what's the best way to sell in XYZ manner. So you'll see inside of here, we have like I said earlier, all of the different knowledge bases themselves. But yeah, it's pretty much able to interact with not only the PDFs or files, but you can add real tangible integrations here that can sync. So for example, if I added a database here, right, instead of just this page, instead of just like adding this page to my system, it would sync all of the databases inside of the page, right? So that, all the pages inside of the database, so that all of the pages in there would actually get added to my system as well. So pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's kind of like you have this person, like that actually you can just instantly learn anything, and then you just give them like books or like links or whatever, and then when you actually need that knowledge, you can just ask that person. But it's not a real person, but it's basically a AI agent that's doing that.
Exactly.
Really
and
cool.
We have another really cool example here for very seamless, and I'll pull up the automation, very seamless note-taking capabilities and summarization. So I'm a guy who loves automation, as those of you know, especially if you listen to our episodes or watch our episodes that are on the sort of solo side where I'm the one mainly doing them. I show specific use cases for automations that will probably take you a little bit farther than just your general AI agent experience. So this is going to be a slight example of that in-depth one. So I use a few products together to make this happen. So this is a big automation.
Wow.
But how this works is, if you just focused on this section right here, is there's a product called grain.com, right? And I have all of my meetings tracking here, right? I have all my meetings inside of this. And at the end of the calls, what happens is a transcript gets generated through the API. So I push this transcript through a huge prompt summarization, where, as you can see as this loads, it says prompt, transform this meeting transcript into a structured knowledge document optimized for RAG retrieval. What is RAG? It's what we've talked about many times before. Is essentially the way that knowledge bases are searched by large language models in order to get that information back into the query and the prompt. So it adds the meeting title, the date, the recording link to that grain product, the hyperlink to the Notion URL that was added for it, and then the transcript is added, and we are asked to format the summary like this, where it starts with meeting summary, goes through key points, topic breakdown, technical details, that kind of stuff. And then after it gets summarized, there's a module in TextCortex's API that is literally upload a file. So I just take the meeting title, the date.pdf, I put the result from the ChatGPT module, and then inside of TextCortex, all you have to do is copy the ID of your knowledge base, which for me is called RP meetings. So I just copied this guy into there, right? And then in practicality, let me show you how it works. So for example, if I go to new chat, I'm going to go to the knowledge base here. And this is where it's really important, that you understand, unlike other products, I could customize and mix and match what my interaction is with knowledge bases without having to completely switch out the GPT or switch out the persona or whatever it is. It's very mix and matchable here. So I can only select RP meetings. I can say, what did I talk about last Thursday with Luca? And this is going to be literally just looking at the knowledge base, checking the dates. Okay, last Thursday was February 28th, right? So last Thursday, you had a sync with Luca. During the meeting, you discussed several key topics: Notion database management, client interaction, upcoming testing goals. Okay, cool. Now, another question would be, there was a link. Okay, so to the grain recording. So can I have the link, please? And since I added it from the automation, boom, we have a knowledge base that constantly, I got asked, hey, Dimitri, what did we talk about in the meeting again? Okay, well, you can check for yourself, because every meeting is going to be tracked and not only added to our Notion and stuff, but also added to where you interact with your chatbot at our company. So obviously ask me, but maybe ask me after you've checked the all-knowing chatbot.
Yeah, I mean, this is amazing. You're not just, your knowledge base doesn't just have like knowledge. It actually has basically like your meetings, what you discuss there. So it's kind of like alive. It's like, as you do your work over time, it's just every meeting you have is being added there, and you can go back and like if you're thinking, okay, we had this idea like a year ago, like we were
Yep.
thinking about doing something, right? You can just go to your knowledge base. It's actually like more than knowledge. It's more like kind of like an extension of your memory, an extension of your brain. It's amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's an extension of our brain, and it's an extension of our business and our interactions. Like, so for example, we also do training a lot of the time. So I can ask, one of the reasoning models, okay, make the ultimate prompt for summarizing a Loom training transcript with deep analysis that is perfect for RAG retrieval. So I'm going to make the prompt, and then I'm going to go to Loom and grab one of them real quick. So if I go to Loom, this is an example training that's called prep meeting and tasks and whatnot. So let's check this out here. Analyze this Loom training. Okay. I'm going to change it a little bit. Analyze the training. I put the title. Training. Let's grab the title real quick. Using the transcript and create a comprehensive breakdown. Okay. So then I will say transcript below. And you can do this for any of your trainings pretty quick. You can just copy it, have this prompt handy. You could also make an automation so that it's one button click away after copying and pasting. But, that's for you to figure out. Okay, cool. So we got this transcript, right? And what I'm going to do is have it run through, and it's going to compile the results for me. Based off of the conversation we had. So it says it's a daily administrative task of managing external meeting agendas in what appears to be a Notion-based CRM. This is accurate. Adding logos to the discovery call clients, making the pre-made agendas, gives a chronological breakdown of what happened, question answer pairs. What is the purpose of so I'm going to ask this question, and I'm going to show you how this, when I add it to the knowledge base, ends up being a question answer pairing. Actually, this is a great question. How do you identify meetings that need templates? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press action, and look at this. There's a very easy option for adding it to the knowledge base right within the end of the prompt. This, like you said, this is kind of their whole product. So if I press upload here, it says it's been added to the knowledge base. So now let me ask the question. And what would I do? I would just simply go to the processes and info knowledge base. And then let me ask the question. How do you identify meetings that need templates? And then what it should do is reference the knowledge that it just added, right? So this is the knowledge that it just added. What's hilarious, by the way, in my opinion, is the fact, so this is the code for what it was, but what's hilarious is that I was able to ask the knowledge base without even leaving the prompt stream or refreshing or starting a new chat.
Nice.
Which is crazy. So yeah. So as explained, the daily process, it talks about the daily process. You identify meetings that need templates by looking for meetings without icons next to them. This is a visual indicator that a template hasn't been attached yet. This is accurate. This is exactly what I said in the training. So yeah, pretty incredible stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, it's incredible. Wow.
Yeah. So
and it's actually like you had this training session, you recorded it. Now the TextCortex is kind of coming up with question ideas, right? Was it like that?
Mm-hmm.
And then you ask that question, those question ideas, and basically, like, if you were as a teacher, it's creating all these questions for you, and it can also answer those questions for you. It's just saves you so much time.
This is actually a really good prompt output, by the way, because I've tried this before with ChatGPT like 4.0. I think the deep thinking models are getting really good because it never told me for RAG, you should probably have a question and answer pairing. And that's pretty fair. Like, I didn't consider that, right? I didn't consider that at all as a possibility, but I think this is great because, like you said, similar, because you have this set up in Jotform, right? Or Jotform AI, or yes, AI agents, where you can have questions and then the answers that should be with the answers, right? Or I'm not misstating that, correct?
Yeah, we have a section, Q&A section as well. Like when you're training your agent, you can add questions and answers. Especially useful as time goes on and as you do your customer service using the AI agent. It's actually gonna see you're gonna discover all these questions that you haven't answered yet, and then you will be able to kind of add them to the database that way by adding like Q&A. So it's actually very useful. Did it came up with that Q&A format itself, or did
exactly?
you
Yeah. So at the beginning, I said make the ultimate prompt for summarizing a Loom transcript with deep analysis that is perfect for RAG retrieval, and it gave me a format of the prompt, and then I just used the prompt, and the prompt says executive summary, key concepts, chronological breakdown, question, answer pairs.
Nice.
I had never considered that. That just did it itself. So more power to you guys if you actively do what I need to just remind myself more of. Use the deep thinking models to ask how to ask the product. Like, say, hey, I want to do X thing. Make the perfect prompt for getting this thing done. And it'll give you a better prompt than you can think of. Like, I do think prompt engineering is a science or an art and a science. And obviously I tweaked it a little bit to say, here's the name of it. Now here's put the transcript below, and that's some minor changes. But this is better than I would have done myself, I think, or at least it gives me ideas that I may not have had in the first place, right? So all of these are great.
Did you specifically pick a model for this?
Yes. So I switched to 3.7 thinking.
Okay, thinking, Sonnet thinking. That's why.
Yeah. So the product TextCortex has fast, which is like 4.0 mini, and these other ones it has smart, and then it has reasoning. So you can switch between all of them, and whatever you want. Yeah. So I'm very pleased with how it reacted to that and then gave it to me. I've been doing this for a lot of stuff. Like, for example, I've been adding and creating, make the ultimate prompt for a script about XYZ thing. And then I work through what's wrong with this. I ask what's wrong with the script still. And then it says, this is what's wrong. So I then say, make the ultimate follow-up prompt to fix this problem, for example. And then that's how I get a good prompt sequence. Right? Rather than it just being a one-off thing.
It's really cool.
Oh yeah. I love it. I'm very happy with not only TextCortex, but just in general. I feel like we don't appreciate oftentimes what we have here, right? We have AI, we have amazing stuff here. And we just, to wrap things up a little bit, we have so much at our fingertips now, and it's simply amazing where we've come in the last couple of years, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's just it's like, this wasn't even something we could dream of, a few years back. But now today, we are talking to AI. We are AI is providing customer service for us. AI is actually help becoming this like extension of our memory, extension of our brain. So it's just like I think the potential is huge, but people are just coming up with the ideas. The execution is just coming up. So there's going to be like so many products that are who are going to come up with all these great products, and I think just people are just figuring them out. It's like early days of the internet. Like
Oh
the
yeah,
potential
100%.
was there, but we didn't have SaaS, we didn't have online products. Like we had a few web pages, right? And just all these things take time. Like people have to come up with the ideas and implement them. The technology is there, the potential is there, but the products are not there yet. But every day,
Yeah.
like if you look at product hunt, every day hundreds of products are coming out, and so it's happening, and it's just great time to be doing this right now. Yeah.
If you had to name one thing that you think is gonna happen in this space in the next, like, feature or functionality that you'd like to see in this area in the next year, what would it be? What's your like key want?
Do you mean in terms of like knowledge base or in
Yeah,
general?
knowledge base. So we went through a lot of cool stuff just
Yeah.
now, but like in if you could improve knowledge bases in a way, what do you think? What do you think something you'd want is in there?
Um, that's a great question. Right. I think what you are actually living kind of in the future, what you have just showed us, like how you're recording everything, right? No one else is doing actually that. Like no one else is doing that. You're
Yeah,
basically
I realize
recording
that. I'm gonna be
everything.
honest. Yesterday when I was talking to the team, I'm like, I don't know if anyone else has had this idea yet. I'm kind of I'm saying this is pretty good. I'm cooking right now, as the kids say.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, in your business, you have employees. Everyone is doing their job, but no one is actually like all those meetings are not being recorded. Maybe some sales meetings are being recorded. Maybe some customer support calls are recorded. But most of the time, you're not actually recording all that knowledge, all that experience, all those conversations. So basically, if you if you can actually record everything, if you start and you have that knowledge in a single like a model, single rag, or single knowledge base. Now, I guess you probably will need like permissions and things like that, right?
Sure.
You
Yeah.
don't want to have access to everything, like some meetings, some HR meetings, or like strategy meetings of CEOs or something. Some of them may
Absolutely.
not be
Absolutely.
may need to be stay private, but I would guess like 95% of all the conversations happening in a corporation is probably like not secret. It's just like regular operations, regular work, and having that knowledge base instantly, and that's also important, instantly available. Like you have this company with hundreds of employees, and all these conversations are happening everywhere, and then you can instantly actually search that knowledge, like find out what's
Absolutely.
happening with that, like what's happening with that customer, and instantly find a solution because like what's happening. I think that could be huge.
You're
Yeah.
right. Of course. Yeah. I mean, I think if I'd have to have a couple things, it would be, like you said, a more integrated process that is like native to these apps, like I'm doing. Like, for example, that Loom thing. I love Loom. I think it's an amazing product. They have, in my opinion, too much interest in security to the point where they don't even have an API, which makes no sense. To me, that's confusing. Like, why not have an API, right? Like, and I think it's mainly for security reasons, which I get, like, I guess, but like also, how is someone going to be able to hack through the API to get your recordings? I have no idea. So like that, like, to me, that's just bad. Like, if you have valid tokens and stuff, nothing would ever happen. So if they had that, this for me right now would be incredible. Like every time I record a training, automatically, and then it's in the right place on my Notion system. It's there. And then the second thing, I use Slack. And I don't know, what do you guys use? Google Chat?
Slack.
You use Slack? Okay.
Yeah.
Like what's really annoying is there's no capability in Slack, unlike Google Meet or Zoom, to transcribe what you're talking through on a huddle. So then I'm having to like manually record it myself and all that kind of work. So if those two things could get fixed, right? If Slack became a better real meeting solution or quick meeting solution, then we'd be rocking and rolling.
I think it's Stripe, the payment company. At Stripe, they actually have something like all the emails are available to everyone else. Like, all the email conversations that happen inside the company Stripe is actually available to everyone else. And the main reason they did that was they wanted to be open, like within the company. Everyone should be able to be aware of what's going on with the rest of the company, and they like you can search for all those like email conversations. So they had something like that.
I just got the most incredible idea from that.
So basically, it's just like that. And now if they have all those conversations, if they're available to this, AI knowledge base, AI knowledge agent, basically, then you're basically kind of you have this like it's not Skynet or anything like that, but you have this single entity that knows everything. That's like God.
Skynet. God mode. God mode. Uber. Who said Uber?
Yeah. It knows everything. It knows what's happening, and basically you can talk to it and find out what's happening with everything else. And it's just
well. I mean, to be abundantly clear, like to anyone who's got this misconception that your emails are private when you're you're on a company email, they're not. Like any company can reset your Gmail or Outlook password and then log in themselves and figure out what you've been doing. So just to note, everybody's work email stuff is public to the company.
And you're not supposed to have personal stuff anyways. Like just
no, exactly. That's my point. Yeah, exactly. You're not supposed to. Yeah,
email, business, private stuff, private, separate them.
Exactly. Yeah. You're 100% right. So that I just got an idea of, and maybe I can make a video on this. I have an email where I get inquiries for like sponsorships and stuff, and different requests. I could have all of those emails go into a knowledge base that's called RP-sponsorships. So then I could ask like, what's the status of this like interaction? Like where am I at with it? Yeah. So that came to mind just now. So thanks for that.
And now all you need is this AI agent, like a sponsorship AI agent, who is actually having these conversations with these, sponsors.
I can basically train a model on how to interact with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. Thank you for that. You're like, I didn't do it. I was talking. Thanks Stripe, I guess, for the idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is a good episode, man. I think we really covered. I think knowledge is power, and knowledge agents are powerful. Sorry for the awful pun.
AI is also power, and the knowledge is power. So if you join them together, you get AI knowledge agents, which are very powerful, very useful if you use them.
Absolutely.
But you use them like those incredible use cases. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you can obviously do some very similar and effective things with the knowledge that you can add to AI agents. So please make sure, as we wrap up this episode, to go check out AI Agents by Jotform. Jotform has had this out for a little bit of time by the time you've seen this episode. So we've constantly heard your feedback, going to make improvements, and are really excited for you to try it out. So make sure to go to jotform.com to try out our AI agents. Also, if you like this episode, please leave us a like on the various platforms you're on. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Do all the fun things. You guys have been doing great when it comes to supporting the podcast. It's actually gone better than I expected. Not to say that I was expecting anything bad. It was just going well. So that's all a testament to you guys listening. So thank you, each and every one of you, for listening.
Thank you for listening. And we'll keep coming up with AI agent ideas and
Yeah.
demos, and keep thinking of better ways to use AI, and turn them into AI agents, so that we are much more productive and we accomplish more, and live in the future and create the future as well. We'll see you the
Yeah, I've been
next time.
trying to. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.
Bye
Bye.
bye.